Overthinking is a silent thief. It steals our peace, clouds our judgment, and traps us in endless cycles of worry and doubt. In today's fast-paced world, many of us find ourselves caught in overanalyzing the past, fearing the future, or endlessly questioning our decisions. This mental turmoil can lead to stress, anxiety, and even exhaustion. But what if there was a way to break free from this cycle? Buddhism offers timeless wisdom that can help us quiet the mind, let go of unnecessary thoughts, and find inner peace. The teachings of the Buddha guide us toward a calmer state of mind, where we learn to embrace the present, detach from negative thinking, and cultivate a sense of clarity. At TT-Buddhism, our mission is to share the profound wisdom of Buddhism in a way that is practical and easy to apply to modern life. Whether you're new to Buddhist teachings or have been practicing mindfulness for years, our goal is to help you discover the path to a peaceful and fulfilling life. In this video, we will explore 6 powerful Buddhist teachings that can help you stop overthinking and find inner peace. These lessons are simple yet transformative, providing you with practical tools to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. If you find this topic interesting, comment 1. If not, please press the like button. Your feedback helps us improve. Thank you so much. Now, let's dive into these teachings and unlock the key to a calm and peaceful mind. 2. Focus on the present. The past is gone. The future is not here yet. One of the biggest reasons we overthink is that our minds constantly dwell on the past or worry about the future. We replay past mistakes, wondering what we could have done differently, or anxiously anticipate future challenges, trying to prepare for every possible outcome. This mental habit keeps us trapped in a cycle of regret and fear, preventing us from experiencing peace in the only moment that truly exists, the present. The Buddha taught, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This teaching reminds us that the past is already gone. Nothing we do can change it. Similarly, the future has not yet arrived, and no amount of worrying will guarantee a specific outcome. The only time we truly have is now. Think about it. The moment you are in right now, reading these words, is the only moment that is real. Everything else is either a memory or a projection of the future. When we allow ourselves to fully immerse in the present, we gain a sense of clarity and calm that is impossible to find when our minds are scattered between past regrets and future anxieties. Many people spend their lives waiting for happiness, thinking, I'll be happy when I achieve this goal, or I'll finally feel at peace when everything in my life is perfect. But the truth is, peace and happiness are not found in some distant future. They are found in the here and now, if only we allow ourselves to experience them. A Buddhist story beautifully illustrates this lesson. A monk and his young disciple were traveling through the countryside when they came across a wide, rushing river. The disciple hesitated, his mind filling with fear. What if I slip? What if the water sweeps me away? What if I can't make it across? His thoughts raced, making him feel overwhelmed and stuck. The monk, on the other hand, remained calm and simply stepped into the water, making his way across with steady movements. Seeing this, the disciple realized that his fears were not about the present moment, but about possibilities that had not even happened yet. Gathering his courage, he let go of his fearful thoughts, stepped into the river, and crossed successfully. When they reached the other side, the monk smiled and said, "You see, the river is always flowing. The only way to cross it is to be fully present and trust in the moment." So how can we apply this lesson to our daily lives? One simple way is through mindful breathing. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by thoughts, bring your focus to your breath. Take a slow, deep breath in, hold for a moment, and exhale gently. This simple practice anchors you to the present moment and calms your racing mind. Another approach is to observe your thoughts without judgment. Instead of fighting them, simply observe them like passing clouds, recognizing that thoughts come and go, and they don't define you. Lastly, try to engage fully in the present activity. Whether you are eating, walking, or listening to music, do it with full awareness, letting go of distractions and truly experiencing each moment. By training your mind to focus on the present, you will find that overthinking begins to fade, and a deep sense of inner peace starts to take its place. Now, let's move on to the next lesson: how to stop clinging to your thoughts and let them pass naturally. 3. Thoughts are like clouds. Let them pass without clinging. One of the biggest reasons we struggle with overthinking is that we attach too much importance to our thoughts. We often believe that our thoughts define who we are, and as a result, we get caught up in them, analyzing, dissecting, and obsessing over every little detail. But in reality, thoughts are just temporary mental events, like passing clouds in the sky. They come and go, constantly changing, and they have no real power over us unless we give them control. The Buddha taught, with our thoughts we make the world. This means that while thoughts can shape our experiences, they are not always the truth. Many of our thoughts are simply conditioned responses from past experiences, fears, and expectations. The more we cling to them, the more they control us. But when we learn to observe our thoughts without attachment, we free ourselves from unnecessary mental. Imagine sitting beside a river and watching leaves float downstream. Some leaves are large, some small, some drift quickly while others take their time. If you try to grab a leaf, you disturb the flow of the water, but if you simply watch, the leaves continue on their way, disappearing into the distance. Our thoughts function the same way. They appear in our minds, stay for a while, and then fade away. The problem arises when we grasp at them, especially negative thoughts. When we ruminate over the past or worry about the future, we are essentially holding onto these leaves, preventing them from naturally flowing away. When we realize that thoughts are not permanent, we begin to loosen our grip. We understand that no single thought defines us, and we don't have to act on every thought that enters our mind. A common Buddhist teaching compares the mind to the sky and thoughts to clouds. The sky is vast, open, and unchanging, while clouds constantly shift and change, appearing and disappearing. No matter how stormy the sky becomes, the clear blue sky always exists behind the clouds. This metaphor teaches us that our true nature is like the sky, calm, stable, and peaceful. Thoughts are just passing phenomena, like clouds that temporarily obscure the sky, but never change its true essence. If you struggle with overthinking, here are some practical steps to help you let go of unnecessary thoughts. First, recognize that thoughts are not reality. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. Learn to question your thoughts instead of automatically believing them. Second, practice the leaves on a stream exercise. Close your eyes and imagine a stream of water. Visualize each thought as a leaf floating by. Watch it come and go without grasping it. This practice trains your mind to observe thoughts instead of engaging with them. Third, use a mindful mantra. When caught in overthinking, gently remind yourself, this is just a thought. not reality. Or, let it pass like a cloud in the sky. Repeating a calming phrase can help shift your focus and reduce mental attachment. Lastly, ground yourself in the present moment. If your mind is overwhelmed, bring your attention back to your breath, body, or surroundings. Engage in a simple activity like walking or sipping tea with full awareness. By practicing these techniques, you will begin to see thoughts for what they truly are: temporary mental events, not absolute truths. When you stop clinging to them, their power over you diminishes, and your mind becomes lighter and more peaceful. Now, let's explore the next lesson: why overthinking creates suffering, and how to let go of what you can't control. 4. Overthinking creates suffering. Let go of what you can't control. Overthinking often arises from our desire to control everything around us. We analyze every possible outcome, worry about things beyond our reach, and cling to expectations of how life should be. But the more we try to control everything, the more we suffer. The Buddha taught, suffering is not caused by the events in our lives, but by our reaction to them. This means that external circumstances do not create suffering, our attachment to them does. When we overthink, we try to solve problems that may not even exist, or attempt to change things that are simply beyond our control. This leads to stress, frustration, and unnecessary anxiety. However, once we realize that we cannot control everything, we can begin to free ourselves from suffering. One of the biggest sources of overthinking is the illusion of control. We believe that if we think enough, plan enough, or worry enough, we can prevent bad things from happening. But life is unpredictable, and no amount of thinking can guarantee a perfect outcome. Instead of resisting uncertainty, Buddhism teaches us to accept life as it is, not as we want it to be. A powerful story from Thich Nhat Hanh illustrates this lesson. There was a man who spent his entire day pushing a large boulder up a hill. He struggled, exhausted himself, and became frustrated because no matter how hard he tried, the boulder would not move. One day, a wise monk saw the man and simply asked, "Why are you pushing a boulder that does not move? Let go and the path will become clear." At that moment, the man realized that his suffering was not caused by the boulder itself, but by his refusal to accept reality. He let go, stopped pushing, and suddenly felt a sense of relief. This story reflects the way we often fight against reality, hoping to change things we have no power over. Instead of resisting, we can choose to surrender and let go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means accepting what is beyond our control and focusing on what we can change. So how do we apply this in daily life? First, identify what you can and cannot control. Ask yourself, is this something I have the power to change? If the answer is no, release it. If the answer is yes, take action rather than overthinking. Second, practice acceptance. Understand that uncertainty is a natural part of life. No one can predict the future, and that's okay. Trust that things will unfold as they are meant to. Third, shift your focus to the present moment. Instead of worrying about what might happen, bring your attention to what is happening right now. Engage in activities that ground you, such as deep breathing, meditation, or mindful walking. By embracing these practices, you will start to notice that overthinking diminishes and your mind becomes lighter. The more you let go of the need to control everything, the more peace you will find within yourself. Now, let's move on to the next lesson. how mindfulness and breath awareness can help calm an overactive mind. 5. Practice mindfulness. Anchor yourself in your breath to quiet the mind. One of the most effective ways to stop overthinking is by practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present, aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. Instead of getting lost in endless mental chatter, mindfulness helps you observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them. This practice creates space between you and your overthinking mind, allowing you to regain control and experience a sense of peace. The Buddha taught, "Where the mind is calm, the breath is calm." This simple yet profound teaching highlights the deep connection between our mental state and our breath. When our minds are restless, our breath becomes shallow and rapid. But when we slow down and focus on our breath, our minds naturally follow, becoming calmer and more centered. This is why many Buddhist practices emphasize breath awareness as a foundation for achieving inner peace. One of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness is through mindful breathing. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by thoughts, bring your attention to your breath. Take a slow, deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then exhale gently. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. By directing your focus to the breath, you shift your awareness away from overthinking and into the present moment. This simple practice serves as an anchor, grounding you in reality and helping you break free from the cycle of excessive thinking. Mindfulness is not about trying to stop thoughts from arising. It is about changing your relationship with them. Instead of getting caught up in every thought, you learn to observe them as passing clouds in the sky. Imagine sitting quietly and watching the sky. Some clouds are dark and heavy, others light and wispy, but none of them stay forever. Similarly, your thoughts come and go. By practicing mindfulness, you develop the ability to witness your thoughts without getting entangled in them. Another powerful way to incorporate mindfulness into daily life is through mindful activities. Whatever you are doing, whether eating, walking, or even washing dishes, do it with full attention. Feel the texture of the food, notice the rhythm of your footsteps, or observe the sensation of warm water on your hands. These simple acts, when done mindfully, pull you out of the world of overthinking and bring you back to the present moment. Scientific research has also shown the benefits of mindfulness in reducing stress and calming the mind. Studies indicate that mindfulness meditation lowers cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and enhances emotional regulation. Many people who practice mindfulness report feeling less anxious, more focused, and better equipped to handle life's challenges. The practice is not just a spiritual exercise, it has real, tangible effects on mental well-being. For those new to mindfulness, starting with just a few minutes each day can make a difference. Sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and allowing thoughts to come and go without judgment is a simple yet transformative habit. Over time, mindfulness becomes a natural state of being, making it easier to detach from negative thought patterns and cultivate a more peaceful, balanced mind. By incorporating mindfulness into daily life, you create a refuge within yourself, a space where overthinking cannot dominate. Your breath becomes a sanctuary, a reminder that peace is always available, no matter how chaotic the world around you may seem. Instead of seeking calmness externally, you realize that true tranquility has always been within you, waiting to be uncovered. Now, let's move on to the next lesson: how simplicity leads to freedom, and why letting go of unnecessary worries is the key to inner peace. 6. Simplicity is freedom. Stop complicating life with unnecessary worries. In today's fast-paced world, we often find ourselves overwhelmed with endless responsibilities, expectations, and distractions. We complicate our lives by worrying about things that don't truly matter, overanalyzing every decision and constantly seeking more success, more possessions, more validation. But Buddhism teaches that true peace and happiness are not found in having more, but in needing less. When we simplify our thoughts, actions, and desires, we free ourselves from unnecessary worries and find a deeper sense of fulfillment. The Buddha taught, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. This means that happiness is not something we need to chase or wait for. It is something we cultivate by how we live each day. When we overthink, we create unnecessary stress. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we fuel dissatisfaction. When we attach too much importance to material success, we lose sight of what truly brings peace. Simplicity allows us to strip away these distractions and focus on what really matters. Zen monks follow a principle known as shibumi, which means finding beauty in simplicity. They live with only the essentials, appreciating the profound joy that comes from a clutter-free life, both physically and mentally. They understand that when we remove excess, we create space for peace. This is why many monks live minimalistic lives, not because they reject material comfort, but because they recognize that possessions, when excessive, become burdens rather than sources of happiness. So how can we apply this lesson in modern life? First, simplify your mind. Let go of thoughts that do not serve you. Ask yourself, is this worry truly necessary? If not, release it. Second, simplify your lifestyle. Instead of constantly seeking more, learn to appreciate what you already have. True contentment comes not from getting everything you want, but from realizing you already have enough. Third, prioritize what truly matters. Spend less time on distractions and more time on meaningful experiences, whether it's connecting with loved ones, practicing mindfulness, or simply enjoying nature. When we simplify, we lighten the load on our minds and hearts. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves or chase after things that don't bring lasting joy. Instead, we learn to find fulfillment in the small, quiet moments of life. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of birds in the morning, the laughter of a loved one. These moments, when fully appreciated, bring far more peace than anything money or status can provide. By embracing simplicity, we unlock the secret to true freedom. We no longer feel controlled by unnecessary worries, and instead we cultivate a life of ease, clarity, and inner peace. Now, let's move on to the final lesson, trusting in impermanence and understanding that nothing, neither our struggles nor our worries, lasts forever. 7. Trust in impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, not even your struggles. One of the greatest sources of overthinking is the fear that our struggles, worries, or emotions will last forever. When we experience sadness, anxiety, or uncertainty, we tend to believe that we will always feel this way. But Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent. Nothing stays the same. Neither our suffering nor our happiness. The Buddha taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. Strive on with diligence. This means that no matter how difficult your situation may seem right now, it will pass. Just as the seasons change, our emotions, thoughts, and experiences also shift over time. Nothing remains the same forever. By deeply understanding this truth, we can free ourselves from the burden of overthinking. Often we hold on to negative experiences, replaying them in our minds and making them last longer than they naturally would. But if we remind ourselves that everything is temporary, we can loosen our grip and allow life to flow naturally. Even the most difficult emotions will eventually fade, just as storm clouds eventually drift away, revealing the clear sky. Instead of resisting change, we can embrace impermanence and trust in life's natural rhythm. When we stop fearing change, we become more present, more adaptable, and more at peace. Rather than overanalyzing what might happen, we learn to go with the flow, knowing that nothing is permanent, not our problems, not our fears, not even the thoughts that trouble us. Through these 6 Buddhist teachings, we have explored how to stop overthinking and find inner peace by focusing on the present, letting go of thoughts, accepting what we cannot control, practicing mindfulness, simplifying our lives, and trusting in impermanence. We can free ourselves from unnecessary mental suffering and cultivate a calm, peaceful mind. At TT-Buddhism, we believe that wisdom is meant to be shared and practiced together. If this message resonates with you, we invite you to take a moment to reflect. What are the thoughts, worries, or struggles that have been weighing on your mind? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your perspective may help others, and together we can learn, grow, and support one another on this journey toward mindfulness and peace. Thank you for being part of this community. May you find clarity, peace, and happiness in every moment.